Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this June the 24th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody's having a great Saturday out there so far. Hope everybody has a great Saturday afternoon. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we're going to talk about Tropical Storm Cindy. Tropical much almost dissipated. Still a tropical storm, but it's going to run into some drier air, and so it's going to eventually dissipate by later this afternoon or either. So I'm not even going to worry about talking about Brett no more. I'm just going to mainly concentrate on Cindy right now because it looks like it will affect Bermuda and maybe southeast Canada later on down the road. So just want to give you a heads up in southeast Canada on that. Also, we're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation. Also, take a look at the watch and warning advisory. Take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlooks for the next 3 days. Today, Sunday, and Monday. And also take a look at the 7-day rainfall total at the end of this forecast cycle. Okay, well, I hope everybody enjoying these videos. If you like them, consider subscribing. Love to have you. Also, like these videos, share these videos, and also, like I say, try to help me get to 500 subscribers. If anybody out there can help me get to 500, I'd greatly appreciate it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the forecast now and dive on into it. As you can see on the satellite imagery this morning, here is a look at the center of Cindy. Still kind of poorly organized, still fighting that dry air on the northwest side. The east side of the storm looks pretty good. The convection still kind of blowing up in the middle of the system here. Also up here in portions of the northern side of the storm as well. But like I say, the dry air is still punching in from the western side of the storm. So it looks very poorly organized on the western side, but looks pretty good organized in the center of the storm. Alright, let's take a look at some information on Tropical Storm Cindy. We're going to take a look at the forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center. So that way you get a chance to see which way Cindy is moving. Currently here is the 11 a.m. advisory on Tropical Storm Cindy. It was located near latitude 16.4 north, longitude 53.3 west. Movement was northwest at 20 miles per hour, and the maximum sustained winds were near 60 miles per hour with higher gusts. Currently, it's still a tropical storm, classified from 39 miles per hour to 73 miles per hour maximum sustained winds in the storm. If it hit 74 miles per hour or higher, it would be classified as a hurricane. Right now, it is classified just currently as a tropical storm. 11 a.m. position. This is where it was located at 11 a.m. At 8 a.m. Sunday morning, this is where it will be located at here. Monday at 8 a.m. it will be located here. Tuesday at 8 a.m. it will start to transition into a post-tropical cyclone, and it will become a depression by the time it moves toward Bermuda. So as you can see, Bermuda looks like it's in the bullseye of getting affected by Tropical Storm Cindy. So just want to give you a heads up. Anybody in Bermuda, be on the lookout for some heavy rainfall and maybe some gusty wind from Tropical Storm Cindy. Alright, here's the long range computer models from the GEF ensembles. As you can see, there's Bermuda. Tropical Storm Cindy will, according to the long range model, this is what we're predicting it to affect the southeast Canada region around Nova Scotia and also up towards Newfoundland. So anybody up in that area there need to be on the lookout. Cindy looks to affect the area over the, sometime later next week. Alrighty, let's take a look at the guidance, intensity guidance real quick on the storm, and then we're going to move on to the weather radar. Here's the current conditions, and anything in the green is tropical storm conditions. There is a few models wants to take it up to a Category 1 hurricane. Right now, I'm just leaning more toward the tropical storm at this time. There's a couple models reflected to dissipate into a remnant low over the next 96 hours. That's what the National Hurricane Center is thinking. So we're just going to have to wait and see how Cindy continues to progress forward over the next several days to come. All right, let's move on to the weather radar across the nation. As well, and also toward New York. Also, some more widespread scattered showers over Pennsylvania, scattered activity over portion of West Virginia. All the way down to northern South Carolina, starting to ignite as well as we roll through the afternoon. So I expect maybe from Columbia north, north of I-20, you may get some shower activity. South of there, less activity for you guys there. Scattered activity also over here off the coastal waters of the southeast U.S. Some scattered activity over portion of northwest Bahamas. Also over here in portion of Cuba. Scattered activity over here around Puerto Rico. Widespread showers down in the Gulf of Mexico. Scattered activity over Florida there as well. Also, we got some scattered activity over Oklahoma. Also into portion of Missouri there as well. More widespread shower and thunderstorm activity over Iowa. Back in the portion of Minnesota and also in North and South Dakota. Scattered activity over southern Canada. Also up here around the Great Lake, northeastern Michigan, Minnesota. Also, we got some scattered activity over portion of Montana, also southwest Canada, also into portion of Washington, Oregon states, and also into portion of Nevada there as well. Scattered activity around the island of Guam. Also got some scattered activity over central and south Alaska, and scattered activity around portions of the Hawaiian chain islands. All right, we're moving on to the watches, warning, and advisory map for your locations across the nation. As you can see, we got some special weather statements for these showers and storms up here in portions of New York. Also, we got some coastal flood advisory for portions of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We got air quality alerts up here in portions of Northeast Michigan. Also, some beach rip currents, beach hazard statements. Also, for portions of Minnesota and Northwest Wisconsin. Also, we have some air quality alerts from northern Michigan, also into much of Wisconsin, also western portion of Michigan, also much of Indiana, and also right along the right along the Illinois and Missouri border, and also some air quality alerts over here in portion of southwest Arizona. We have some flood watches in effect for portions of Montana, also portions of Washington State. River flood warnings still in effect for portions of South Dakota. Some flood warnings also in effect for South Dakota as well. Also portions of, I'm going to say Nebraska, portions of northeast Colorado, and also Arizona. We got that excessive heat warning or watch in effect for southeastern Arizona. We got excessive heat watches. Heat advisories, heat advisory for southern portions of New Mexico. Also into central and eastern Oklahoma. Much of Arkansas, western Tennessee, west central portion of Mississippi, much of Louisiana, and much of eastern and southern Texas. We got some excessive heat warnings in effect for southern Texas, also in west Texas, and also southeast New Mexico as well. Have some river flooding also going on in Mississippi there as well. Also some high wind warnings also in effect for portions of southeast Wyoming as well. Special weather statements, some wind advisories over portions of central and eastern portion of Alaska, and the Hawaiian chain island. Got some gale warning and look like some wind advisory for portions of the island on the south side there as well. All right, let's move on to the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to take a look at the convective outlook for the next 3 days to come. So that way you get a chance to see and get yourself prepared for severe weather over the coming days across the nation. As you can see, here's day one. We're going to click on it. We'll go through Monday's forecast. Okay, as you can see, we got general thunderstorm from Maine all the way down to Florida, into the Carolinas, also back into portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, back into Texas, also back over in the Pacific Northwest, over from Montana back to California, and also into Washington, Oregon states. There's that slight risk of severe weather with portions of Minnesota, also slight risk in the green areas there as well, extending all the way into portions of South Dakota, all the way through Wisconsin, all the way into Illinois, portions of Tennessee, back into Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Slight risk also in effect of southern Minnesota, back into portions of western Illinois through Iowa as well, and northeastern portions of Missouri. Also have a marginal risk down along the Gulf Coast in Louisiana and southern Mississippi. Marginal risk, this includes Memphis, Tennessee, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Omaha, Nebraska. Slight risk, this includes Delmont, Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Springfield, Illinois, Pereira, Illinois, and Davenport, Iowa, and some of the locations in Minnesota. Tornado probability for today, we have a 5% in the north part of Minnesota, 2% in the green for the remainder of Minnesota, down in the portion of Illinois, 5% down in the portion of southern Minnesota, back into Iowa. And if you're in the 5%, this includes Delmont, Iowa, Fargo, North Dakota, Waterloo, Iowa, Ames, Iowa, West Delmont, Iowa. 2% include Minneapolis, Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Springfield, Illinois, and Pereira, Illinois. Winds, we have 5% in the brown from Minnesota back to Texas, also down Louisiana. 15% in Illinois, Iowa. 15% Delmont, Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Springfield, Illinois, Pereira, Illinois, Davenport, Iowa. 5% include Memphis, Tennessee, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Omaha, Nebraska. Hail probability for today, 5% in the brown from Minnesota to Texas, also Louisiana. 15% in the yellow, in the yellow slashed area, that's the significant for severe hail. This will include Delmont, Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Waterloo, Iowa, Iowa City, Iowa, and Ames, Iowa. 15% Delmont, Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Davenport, Iowa, Waterloo, Iowa, and Iowa City, Iowa. Also 5% include Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, New Orleans, Louisiana, Omaha, Nebraska, and Tuscaloosa, Oklahoma. All right, let's take a look at day 2. Alright, we got general thunderstorm from Maine to Florida, Florida Keys, back to Louisiana, all the way into ports of Texas, all the way back to ports of California, Nevada, back into ports of Washington, Oregon State, through Montana, back to Minnesota and Wisconsin. We have a marginal risk in ports of Michigan, back down into Arkansas, back into ports of Tennessee. Slight risk include also in Indiana, portion of Ohio, all the way back into much Kentucky and north central Tennessee, northeastern Arkansas, and southeastern Missouri. Marginal risk, Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Toledo, Ohio, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and also Knoxville, Tennessee. Also, the slight risk, Indianapolis, Indiana, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky. Also, tornado probability for your Sunday, 2% in the green, 5% in the brown. 5% include Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky, Clarksville, Tennessee, Bowling Green, Kentucky, and New Albany, Indiana. Also 2% include Indianapolis, Indiana, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Evansville, Indiana. All right, let's move on to the winds. 5% in the brown from Michigan back to Arkansas, back into Tennessee. 15% Indiana, Ohio, back into Tennessee. The 5% include Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Toledo, Ohio, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Knoxville, Tennessee. 15% Indianapolis, Indiana, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky. Hail probability, 5% from Michigan back to Arkansas and to Tennessee, 5% in portions of Indiana, Ohio, back into Tennessee, 15% significant area for large hail. This includes Louisville, Kentucky, Clarksville, Tennessee, Bloomington, Indiana, Green, Kentucky, 15%, Indianapolis, Indiana, Nashville, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Fayetteville, Kentucky. 5%, Columbus, Ohio, Memphis, Tennessee, Toledo, Ohio, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Knoxville, Tennessee for large hail. Okay, it's coming up. Here's day 3. General thunderstorms all the way from Maine to Florida to Louisiana, all the way back into Minnesota, back to Iowa and Montana, portion of California, Oregon, and Nevada. We have a marginal risk over here in portions of Wyoming, also southeast Montana, western South Dakota, northwestern portions of Nebraska. Also over here from portions of Pennsylvania to Georgia, slight risk over North Carolina and Virginia. Slight risk, Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Marginal risk, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia Beach, Virginia, and Atlanta, Georgia. Ability, alright, 5% to brown, 15% to yellow, 15% Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. 5% Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Baltimore, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia Beach, Virginia, and Atlanta, Georgia. Alright, and finally we're going to wrap it up with the rainfall totals. The heaviest precipitation looks to be in the Atlantic Ocean, from the Bahamas all the way to the northeastern United States, all the way up into portions of southeast Canada. Southern southeast Canada is going to get in on it. Portion of the northeastern United States, extending from Pennsylvania all the way to Maine as well, West Virginia, over toward Virginia, down into the Carolinas. Got some heavy precipitation there as well. All the way down into Florida, even the Cuba area, going to get some heavy precipitation. Northern Bahamas, heavy precipitation. Also in the Ohio Valley. Also back over to portion of Minnesota, back into South Dakota. Also back over toward Montana as well. Lighter amounts in the lighter green, extending the Gulf of Mexico through Louisiana, through Kansas, through portion of Wyoming, over around Nevada and California, and also back over into portions of southern Canada as well. Mexico got some heavy precipitation there and dry air. No precipitation expected over the white areas here in portions of Washington State, Oregon, California, and also in the Utah. So you expect dry conditions there in that vicinity. Alright, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Everybody continue to stay safe and well. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got. Like these videos, share these videos, and consider subscribing. We'll catch you back in the next one.